You know, DC isn't the only movie company that has some on-again, off-again turmoil going on with any of their projects. Fox, which turns out a lot of good product, but they've been really struggling with their Gambit movie. Now, Gambit has had no fewer than 3 directors on board and 3 directors who have left. And we really haven't heard anything about it. There was a release date, then that release date got pulled, then there was another release date announced, then that got pulled, then it goes quiet for a while, all this kind of stuff. A lot of people, understandably, have been wondering if this movie just straight up has been canceled. Especially with sometime in 2019, the Fox and Disney merger is going to happen. So a lot of people assuming this is just kind of a done deal. Well, apparently it's still moving forward. Apparently their plan is still to make this movie. And the producer of the Gambit movie, Simon Kinberg, who is also the director of the upcoming X-Men Dark Phoenix, Simon Kinberg was talking about it, assuring people, hey, no, we're still doing it. But then he also gave a really weird description of the movie. Here's what Simon Kinberg had to say. He said, Gambit has a great script, and we're looking to start that movie early next year, which would, of course, be 2019. When you look at Gambit, he's a hustler and a womanizer, and we just felt there was an attitude, a swagger to him that lent itself to a romantic comedy. You know, when I say romantic comedy, I use the term loosely in the same term that I use the term Western loosely for Logan. It's not like they're gunslingers at high noon in Logan. It's just a vibe. And I would say that the vibe of Gambit has a romantic or sex comedy vibe to it. While it also still very much a superhero movie with villains and heroes, as all these movies are. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the things a lot of comic book movie fans did not want to hear plugged into the Gambit movie is the term romantic comedy. I can already feel the disturbance in the force running throughout the movie fandom, hearing the term romantic comedy attached to Gambit, and everybody starts freaking out. I'm going to preach caution here for a second. Just everybody take a breath, because you know, Simon Kinberg, it feels like as soon as he said the words romantic comedy, I feel like he knew how that was going to be perceived, and he kind of backtracked a little. It's like, not in the true sense of the word romantic comedy, just a vibe to it. Now, before we get too upset at that, do remember this too. You could have legitimately described, before it came out, you could have legitimately described Deadpool like that too. Like if Ryan Reynolds were to say, like there's almost a romantic comedy vibe to it, he wouldn't be wrong. I mean, Deadpool is way more than that, but if you were to describe Deadpool to somebody and say, you know, it's this and this, but there's also a romantic comedy vibe to it, that's actually completely accurate. There is a romantic comedy vibe to it. And look how we all love Deadpool, right? Rightfully so. Well, I mean, all films subjective. Not everybody loves Deadpool, but a lot of us like Deadpool a hell of a lot. And it had a little bit of romantic. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was not looking for the term romantic comedy to be attached to Gambit either. But understanding and putting in context, it may mean nothing. It may not a big deal. Now, let's go back to the first thing he said, though, about that they're still looking. They've got their script done, and they're looking to start shooting in early 2019. Well, we're almost in October. Early 2019 is just a couple months away. And as of now, as far as we know, they still don't have a director attached. That's going to become problematic. And here's the thing. While Fox is still operating business as usual, they're totally ignoring the Disney merger. They're just business as usual for now, which is exactly what they should be doing. If they don't get this Gambit movie into production fairly soon, I don't believe that Disney, once they own everything, I don't believe they're going to greenlight this Gambit movie. At least not this Gambit movie. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to get this movie done, which sounds like they're still pushing ahead with it, they've got to go into production in early 2019. They've got to get this film into production before Disney takes over. If they really want this movie done, they've got to get on it. They don't have time to dilly, you know? Dilly. They don't have time to dilly about. They got to get this thing done. They need to get a new director on board. They need to lock this thing down and put the wheels in motion. Now, for all we know, they already have a new director on board and they're just not announcing it yet. We've seen that happen many times. But yeah, if it's going to happen, they got to go quickly, and let's hope it's not too much of a romantic comedy. All right, with that stuff out of the way, let's go over to our main topics.